Today we're talking about rounding with a number line. You can round without a number line, but today's lesson we're going to talk about how do we set up a number line and what do we go up by each time. Doing a number line is not terribly fun, but it's also not terribly difficult. A couple neat things you need to think about are your benchmark numbers. That's the one that you're ending with and starting with. Each number line is going to have 11 marks, including the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. And depending on what you're rounding to, like whatever number's underlined is going to tell you what you're going to count by on each mark. So if you're underlining the tens place, meaning if you're rounding to the tens, you're going to go up by 1. If you're rounding to the hundreds place, you're going to go up by 10. And we don't have one on here, but if you are rounding to the thousands place, you're going to skip count by a 100. So let's take this problem, 74. You're trying to figure out what 10 it's in between. If I was to skip count by 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 74 is between both the numbers 70 and 80. If I was to skip count, because it's rounding to the tens place, I would skip count by 1 to figure out, okay, 71, 72, I'll do a little bit bigger so you can see it. 71, 72, 73, 74 would land right here. What I always tell students, imagine that you are in between two shops. You have the 70 shop and you have the 80 shop. Which would be the closest one? Well, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 steps away, while this shop is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps away. So you're going to want to round down to the number 70. If you have 283, because I'm underlining the hundreds place, I'm actually going to skip count by tens. So you're going to try to figure out what hundreds 283 is between. So 0 hundreds, 100s, 200s, 300s. It's between 200 and 300. And the number that's smack dab in the middle of those two would be the number 250. Meaning that each time you go up, you're going to go from here to here. So that's 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, and 300. Now, 283 is actually between the 260, 270, 280, right between these two numbers, right between these two tallies. And it would be a little bit closer, I'll do it in a green, it would be a little bit closer to the 280 tally. So then again, you got to ask yourself, which is it going to be closest to? Are you going to want to go to the 200 store, or are you going to want to go to the 300 store? It would only make sense to round up to the 300 because it is much, much, much closer. Number lines, just remember these key things over. Remember these key things over here. Just have your benchmark numbers, the one you start in with. Make sure your number line has 11 marks. If you're rounding to the tens, go up by 1. You're rounding to the hundreds, go up by 10. If you're rounding to the thousands, make sure you skip count by 100.